Hey everybody, back with a response for G's Mikey. Kind of similar to another response that I did for Baseball Card Junkies a while back. So I guess this one is kind of an update to that one. I'll try to keep this one a bit shorter because I think that other one was close to 20 minutes. But basically he just wants to see like how we store our collection. So this box, I actually have 4 of these 5-row boxes. And that's where I keep like all my non-PC stuff. So this one right here is retired baseball players. Doesn't have to be like former All-Stars or anything. Basically, anyone who's not currently on a major league team goes into this box, at least until I can find somewhere else to send it. Like when I'm making care packages and whatnot, I look through these boxes. And believe it or not, this is actually in alphabetical order. I did that recently. That's how crazy I got with it. It's also in order by position. So this first row and somewhere up to here is pitchers, then catchers towards the back. This row right here is infielders, some infielders in that row, and then it picks up with outfielders over here. So again, just a bunch of random players. Some of them retired recently, some of them retired like in the 80s and 90s. So this is the first baseball box. And here's the second baseball box. This one is for current players mostly. And there you see it listed by teams. Now the way I do it is, whatever players are currently on that team, they go behind a tab. They don't necessarily have to be wearing the team's uniform. Just as long as they're on that team's current roster, they go in there. So let's see, for example, here you got Bautista pictured with the Blue Jays, but I think he finished with the Phillies last year, so he's behind the Phillies tab. And that's the thing about this box. This one isn't quite as organized as the first one I showed because I constantly have to update this one when players get traded or when players sign in other places and whatnot. So I'm usually behind on organizing this one. These cards in these rows, I think I got to sort through and organize. Here you got the Yankee row. The Yankee row is just all my Yankee doubles, so that could be from all different types of years. And you see on this side, I got the National League. Over here, I got the American League. A few National League teams didn't fit over here. But yeah, that's the second baseball box. And now box number 3. This is for NBA stuff. And similar to the baseball one I just showed you, behind the tabs, you got current players. Although this one I really don't update a lot since I don't buy a whole lot of basketball stuff, so I'm sure behind some of these tabs there are players who have moved on to other teams. So definitely got to work on this one. In these rows you got retired players. So for the NBA stuff I didn't need 2 separate boxes, although you see it's getting kind of packed. But eventually I might want to go through some of these retired players because there are a few in there that I might want to pull out and put into binders, just haven't gotten around to that. So this is NBA stuff. And so last one for these types of boxes, this was supposed to be my football box, but since I didn't have enough football for the entire box, I just started putting a lot of random stuff here. Really just these first 2 rows are football. And again, same system as the other ones, the ones with tabs. Those are current players, except for the Giants. Those are just all my Giants doubles. And this row right here is just retired NFL players. Over here I think I got like bench warmer, got like movie cards, Marvel cards. Got my Game of Thrones stuff in there, which I also want to put in binder, as well as my UFC stuff. I also want to put that stuff into a binder, but right now I don't really have room for more binders, which I'll get into in a minute. But here you also see a little bit of hockey. I only buy like 1 or 2 hockey packs per year. So yeah, just a bunch of random stuff in here, some football and some miscellaneous. Alright, so all those other boxes you saw were like commons and some inserts and some rookies, even though I started pulling some of the rookies out of those. Now I have also 4 of these 3-row boxes, which I keep all my hits in and like thick cards and that sort of stuff. So some of them are for like PCs, like this one is for the Yankee PC stuff, like all my different types of Yankee hits. This one is like mixed hits, mixed sports. So I got a row for baseball, row for basketball. This stuff you get like in mixers and box breaks and lots and all that. So some of that stuff you don't know what to do with goes into this box. I think these points have been used. Then over here there's another mixed one. Here I have my Puerto Rican PC hits. That whole row, part of that row. Also keep my TTMs in here. Then in this row I just put UFC and wrestling. So eventually as I get more of that stuff, some of that stuff might get its own box, but right now they share that box. Over here you got the Knicks PC and the Giants PC sharing that box there. So again, 4 of those types of boxes. And so in addition to those, I also have 4 of these 2-row boxes, also for a variety of things. This one is for my Bernie Williams PC. I mentioned when I got this box that I was gonna take all the Bernie Williams stuff out of the Yankee box. So that's those. This over here is the rookie box that I've been working on. Those over here is potential care package stuff. I tend to keep those separate from the other boxes. And this over here, I guess, is like my secondary teams, I guess you would say, like the other New York teams, like the Jets, the Mets, the Brooklyn Nets. I don't have a lot of cards of any of those teams, so I just stuff them in here. The Buffalo Bills. Got some of my 90s Bulls stuff in there as well. So 4 of these boxes. And this right here, this is the bulk of the collection, as well as maybe the bane of my existence at times, the binders. These right here are just Yankee binders. And these aren't even all the Yankee binders. These are just the ones I could fit on the table. But I have all sorts of different like themed Yankee binders. I got the Jeter stuff in one binder. I got 2 separate Bernie Williams binders. I got one for current players, one for players from like the 90s, players from the 70s and 80s. One for like the legendary players like Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, all those guys. Those are the 2009 Yankees, I think. I got one for Tino Martinez and Paul O'Neill, so it just keeps going and going. And again, these are just the Yankee binders. Here are more binders. This is all NBA stuff. And the reason I'm showing them to you like this is because I don't have like one specific location for all my binders, which is something I really want to work on. I want to get like some really good shelves like Pepino Man has, or like Geez Mikey himself has. I want to get like one centralized location for all my binders, which I don't have now. I keep my binders all over the place in different cabinets and bins and boxes and whatnot. So anytime I want to look for something, I gotta go get these, which can get kind of annoying because I don't know if this happens to some of you guys, but I often lose certain binders when I'm looking to put some stuff away. Like I might have like 1 or 2 care package cards that I get that I want to put away and can't find the appropriate binder when I need it. So again, that can be a bit of a hassle. So hope to get all these in one place soon. But yeah, this is just like 90s NBA guys. All of you that know me know that I'm more of a 90s guy when it comes to NBA especially. These are current Knicks. Got some more Knicks binders there. I think back here you got Jordan and 90s Bulls binders. So again, these are just for basketball. Here you have a few more stacks of binders. This is more baseball stuff. It's kind of a mix of some of my favorite 90s players. I keep some of these like by position. So a binder for outfielders, a binder for infielders. I think back here you got some Mets binders. This was a binder that Pepino Man sent me, so I put some baseball sets in there. And again, just showing you some of them because I think since the last time I did this type of video, I think the binders have pretty much doubled since then. Here you got even more stacks of binders. Every one of these is for my Puerto Rican PC players. The way I do these for the most part is also by position. So I have one for the Puerto Rican infielders. Some players have their own binder, like Juan Gonzalez. Had too many Juan Gonzalez cards, so he had to get his own binder. That one is for outfielders. I got one for, these are like DHs, like Edgar Martinez, Ruben Sierra, those types of guys. Got one for catchers, one for pitchers. So even more binders. And I almost forgot about these because these are usually in a box that I don't get to as often, but these are all my football binders and my one hockey binder, which doesn't have much in it. Also got my YouTube PC binder, which I showed you guys. But yeah, these are all Giants binders. And with these, I'm not quite sure how I want to store things yet because it isn't fitting quite the way I want. But what I've been doing recently is have one binder for offense, one for defense, one for current players. But again, it still isn't fitting quite right, so still might shuffle some of that stuff around. Also over here I have one for the other New York football teams, the Jets and the Bills. So just have a few Jets cards and some Bills towards the back. I still want to make videos for all of this stuff, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think I'm going to end right here. So there you go, Mikey. Just a glimpse into my collection, how I store things. And again, I hope to soon get like a really good shelf for all these binders. And if I do, then I'll show you how I set that up. But that is all for now, so talk to you guys next time.